So next thing he will do is, what is the company culture and existing systems? What does it mean actually? Company culture or existing system. So he need to know how the organization works. Maybe he will be the existing project manager or the new project manager. He just need to know how the company culture works and what are the various systems working in the company. For example, your project is located in some of the regional. Okay, you should be under that regional office. You should report to that regional office. Then they will report to the HQ. This is one of the system, company culture, system existing in the company. Okay, that you can't change. Then for resources, you should ask resource manager. Then resource management will ask the HQ. They will get all those resources. So these are the various softwares available to work in the project. These are the various employees. This is the employee numbers you will get in the project. So these are the company systems or working in the organization. So these things you should know in the initiating phase actually. So actually this process, like understanding the company culture, existing system, is defined in the PMP in one special word like enterprise environmental factors, EEF. These words you will see in at least some 1,000 times in the PMP. It will be in as the input in most of the project management process, EEF. So what is EEF? Enterprise environmental factor means is a condition that are not under the control of project team. Project management team can't control what are the conditions coming under the EEF, but those conditions will influence or constrain or direct the project. So those factors are coming as the enterprise environmental factors. There are two things. One is within the organization, EEF internal to the organization. One is EEF external to the organization. So whatever I explained before, like EEF internal to the organization, like organization culture, structure, and governance, geographic distribution of facility and resources. Maybe your overall the steel yard or the regional office, those facilities, the geographical distribution of resources and this thing, infrastructure of the company itself. Okay, I have big yard here. Okay, I have two big machines of PQC laying machines are there. So these are the infrastructure facilities of the organization. Then information technology software. Okay, these are the software the organization itself it have. Then resource availability, employee capability. These are the things the project team can't change. Okay, these are though it is within the organization, the project team can't control these factors. You understand? You can't change the project manager can't change the overall organization culture or structure or governance. You can't change how it works. The project manager need to report to the regional manager. Regional manager need to report to the overall head, maybe cluster head or something like that. So this level, the project manager can't say like I won't report to the regional manager. I can directly report to the HQ. He can't say that. So these are the things like maybe here the project manager approval limit will be up to 10,000, maybe $10,000. Above that, the approval should go to the regional officer. So this is the structure actually. Organization structure is like that. You can't change that. I will itself, the project manager itself, I can approve it up to $15,000 or $50,000. I will approve like that. A project manager can't say. So these are the various constraints within the organization. With that, you should direct the project. Correct. So next is external to the organization, like market-based condition, social cultural influence and issues, legal restriction, there will be a wildlife thing, there will be so many problems will be coming, uh, industry standards, financial consideration, physical and environmental limits. Those are external to the organization that the project team can control. So these are the constraints. What are the various constraints? This are influencing the project. These are the things that project managers should study before going to planning or executing phase. These are the things he should research in the initiating phase. So this is called enterprise environmental factors. That is the third step. Instead of say determining company culture and existing system, you will see like studying the enterprise environmental factors or the factors that are affecting the project that are not under the control of project teams. Okay. Next thing is collect process procedures and historical information. For this process also we have special word in the PMP that is called organizational process assets. This is like the previous project's historical information. One thing. Another thing is what are the various process, policies, procedures for doing the project. For doing the project. Okay, the policies, this is not the organizational policy, overall policy, it's not organizational policy, this is the policy of the project. These things the project team may be able to update and can add anything to the project. So these are the things also maybe influence the project, but this can be controlled by the project team. Like what are the, okay, if he is doing the project in one area, maybe in the same area the organization executed project before 2 years. So from those details, from the project details, he can understand, okay, where he will get the aggregate, what are the various vendors are available in this area. So what is the rainfall in that area? So how the people there, what will be the various stakeholders, what are the various problems occurred in the previous project. So those details he get from the organizational knowledge bases, like historical informations. Apart from that, various process, policies, procedures, how to get the approval. Okay, these are the various level to get the approval of from the government authority. Maybe it will differ from the area to area. So it will be can able to modify by the project team. It is under the control of project team, but it also will influence the project actually. Okay, maybe the project manager have some inbuilt process procedures, maybe for approval itself, maybe leave approval, whatever. He will have one deputy project manager, or first he have to get the accounts manager approval, then he need to come to the project manager. So those things are within the control of project team, though it is the constraint, it can be controlled by the project teams. So whatever that procedures, the historical information that will come under the organizational processes. It may be grouped into two categories. One is the organizational knowledge bases, that is historical information. Another one is process, policies, and procedures. Okay, so we have seen the 4 project management process till now. So next is, so okay, he studied all those things. First, he want to see, okay, we are going to execute the project. So what are the initial requirement? Initial requirement for set up the office. Like within 2 months or within 1 month, also whatever the project duration. Initial requirement, okay, we have to the camp office should be this, how many resources, 4 resources, maybe I am not all the resources, not all the manpower is required. Okay, only project manager is required, resource manager is required, the 4 or 5 people are required. Okay, 2 vehicle is required, 1 excavator is required. So that initial requirement, okay, how much cost is required for these 2 months, maybe 2 million is required for meeting the government authorities for approval, all those things. That is uncovering the initial requirements. What are the various assumptions, risks, constraints, and existing resources? Is there any already any person is assigned to this project from the tender stage itself? One guy will be working. So whether that guy is going to the project or not. So all those things. Let's see what will be the assumptions, risk, constraints. Let's take, I will explain with the example. So assumptions will be, first assumption, okay, we'll get the approval for the mining within the second month itself. We are going to get the approval. That will be the assumptions. Okay, aggregate will be procured within the 40-kilometer interval, so that lead will be less. So that cost only included in the budget. That is one assumption. So 40% of the work will be completed within 8 months. Based on that, ROI, return on investment, is calculated, and 100% of works we targeted to complete within 22 months itself. That is also one assumptions we are getting. So what are the various constraints actually? These are the sum of the assumptions. So what are the constraints? Okay, that is getting the approval from authority for mining of soil, procurement of aggregate. There will be some cash flow problems in the initial 4 months. So that will be one of the constraints. And rainfall is the another constraint that will be in the 4 months. It will be there. So that will be one of the constraints. So the overall project itself, getting the approval from the authority for doing the for mining of soil within 3 months. If you didn't get, there will be a delay in your project that will lead to cost overrun, actually cost and time overrun. Is the rain season also extended? Maybe the schedule and cost will be affected. We have to see in this case whether the EOT extension of time we will get. We have to see there is a procedure for getting EOT in terms of rainy season. Before 10 years data, we have to see whether those 10 years average is more than, if it is 5 or 6 months averages, then they won't get then they won't give the EOT, because you consider 4 months, but the average of 10 years is 6 months. If then you have to consider 6 months here actually. So that is the thing in when we are getting the extension of time. If we are getting extension of time for rainy seasons, or most problem, or otherwise what they will tell, it's a normal thing, it's a rainy area, this is a normal thing, it will happen, we should consider all those things when we are quoting for the project. That is the one difference will be given by the client actually. So now he uncovered the initial requirement, what will be the assumptions, constraints, project risk, and everything. The next thing he is doing is, okay, project feasibility within the given constraints. With this given constraint, whether he can able to finish the project or not, that he need to take a call. So what will be the within 4 months rainy, cash flow problems, the approval of mining authority in the 3rd month, with all those assumptions and constraints, whether the project feasibility is whether he can able to do or not. That is the 3rd thing. Actually, that is the 6th thing he will do actually. So once he done that, then he will create the measurable objectives and success criteria. So I will leave this particular section to you people. What will be the objectives? You just write it down. What will be the objectives and success criteria based on whatever I have explained in the business case. Okay. I think from the business case itself, you can write it down. What will be the objective and success criteria? Success criteria is achieving whatever the profit you have estimated in the business case. That will be the success criteria. Finishing within the project within 22 months. That will be the success criteria. Cost reduction of 20%, whatever you quoted in the business case. That will be the success criteria. I'm just giving the example. You can write it down by yourself. This is like a homework for you. Okay.